Hello, my name's Laurel Papworth. I'm a Metaverse mentor to corporates, businesses, and also a university lecturer. I was getting ready today and doing some research to do a Metaverse news video, and I realized that all of the news was negative. On top of that, the whole META AVERSE thing is confusing. And I think the reason for me that it's confusing is because I've been through this wave before, and I've been through the hype cycle. If you're not familiar with that, we look at a peak of inflated expectations early on, and then we move into a trough of despair. It's actually called the trough of disillusionment, but whatever. I know it's early days. I know there's a lot of hype, and I know there's a lot of passion involved in this area. A lot of people who are extremely opinionated, because opinions lead the way and help form constructs when we don't have data, facts, or even a real idea of what's going on. On top of the opinionated meta-averse people, there's also bad news, and the bad news is really coming today. We're at the end of August 2022. If you're in the future, hi. The average price of virtual land in Sandbox and Decentraland has dropped by about 80%, and the trading volume has dropped by 90%. So that's an issue. That's not unexpected, where we're still trying to figure out where the people are going to move to, what they're going to look like. Can we have walled gardens? Should we have open worlds? If we don't have open worlds, how do we create value that can transfer across the worlds? A lot of those questions are being worked on because we are at that beginning stage. We're at that early stage. This is an emergent tech, and emergent tech typically takes time. It doesn't always become what we originally envisaged. Also today, cryptocurrencies have had their largest 2-month drop, I think forever. That was from Bloomberg. It's around 9%. So all of those who see cryptocurrencies as being not a medium of exchange within the metaverse, but actually a store of value, are upset. Now, I will point out that you can't have a store of value without people using that currency as a medium of exchange. Now, Roblox has around 190 million users, but it's the dwell time and the MAUs and the DAUs, monthly active user and daily active user, that's important. And I believe that their daily active user is around 12 million users per day. So it's right up there. It's not enough at the moment. Roblox is probably MySpace or Friendster as we go through and look at the components of the metaverse, of which worlds is one of them. And yes, there are trust issues, particularly around Horizon, but around others. And yes, there is concern about boring meetings in a virtual space versus gamified worlds full of engagement, but really just games like we've seen for the last few decades in virtual worlds. This is an opportunity, which is what I'm leading to, for us to create the metaverse in a way that we want to create it. And people standing on the sidelines saying, it's all crap, it's terrible, it doesn't exist, it'll never exist. If it did exist, it would be awful. What about the children? What about privacy? What about data? What about this? What about that? Their concerns are justified, but not enough to stop pushing forward. Being technophobic is a critical part of being critical thinking, I guess. And absolutely, we are not seeing the kind of connections in these worlds that we see in the physical world. So until you see rites of passage and rituals in metaverse worlds, then we're not going to be able to compare that to the physical world, or even, to be honest, Facebook. If you're not seeing in the worlds things like births, deaths and marriages, that's a rite of passage, and you're not responding as a human to that news, then it's not going to be sustainable or fulfilling to humans. But standing on the sidelines and throwing things without offering an alternative or suggestions is minimal value at best, I think is the kindest way that I can put it. In other words, make sure that you're offering something of value rather than just saying, oh, that's crap. Because when you say, oh, that's just crap, it actually, few people listen to that. It's great clickbait and people are going to click on it and watch the video. And then they're going to go back to doing what they're doing, which is thinking about, envisaging, manifesting how they want the metaverse to be. And I'm in that tribe. So maybe think about how you don't like something and what it could look like. So rather than saying, oh, that's just crap, I don't like it, that's not going to work, suggest something like, well, that's a walled garden, that's firewalled. How are we going to transfer assets between worlds? I think that's a fair critique, fair summary of some of these things that are going on. If you don't like Paris Hilton's world with her NFTs, don't go there. It's fine. We will see a lot of non-nutritional content, and that often happens at the beginning of a new wave, a new cycle. But there are already deeper connections being made into virtual reality and into other spaces as well. Don't dismiss gamification, please. I know everybody says, oh, stop playing games, you need to work now. But work will become gamified. And the more gamified it is, the more human beings will enjoy it, and the greater gains there will be from our overlords and masters, as we don't realize that our game is their work. And really that can be anything from having to read the text captures that Google uses to actually translate old documents, and to the virtual world, what was it called, US Army, that the players didn't know that the US Army were actually in the world fighting players in order to get training. And they were using real world maps, Fallujah and etc. So again, I ask you, when you hear metaverse stuff, see META AVERSE. So again, I ask you, when you see or hear META AVERSE concepts, investigate. Are they offering an interesting path or way through? Are they offering interesting examples? What can we use to say this is not what we want, but then how do we articulate what it is that we do want from the future? Thank you for your time today. My name's Laurel Papworth. I will be back next Saturday with Metaverse News. Thank you.